Victor Giadium secures an extension of court order which asks him to be APC acting chairman pending party's NEC meeting. This deepening ruling party's internal crisis. And President Muhammadu Buhari says he's not happy with the state of security in the country. Tells service chiefs today that he will no longer take excuses from them over the killings in the country. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. I'm Seun Okinbaloye in Lagos. In what could be seen as and perceived as a stern warning coming from the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and the President of the nation, Muhammadu Buhari, today gave a very, very strong position on the state of security in the country. He says he will no longer take the killings of Nigerians. The president says he's not very pleased with the handling of the insecurity situation in the country. In many parts of the country, especially the north, and he's not mincing words about it, the president says met with the service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police today. According to the National Security Advisor, Babangana Mungunu, the president told the service chiefs that their best is not good enough.
Today's meeting basically focused on recent developments. Mr. President has expressed great concern over the declining security situation in the country. He is extremely unhappy about what is happening, and he feels that even though the security agencies are doing their best is not good enough for him, and he wants an immediate reversal of the current trend, an immediate reversal of our misfortunes in all their dimensions. Mr. President also told us clearly, in no uncertain terms, that he and indeed the administration came to power on the platform of three issues: fighting insecurity, overcoming our economic difficulties, and dealing with the scourge of corruption. And he also noted that it takes common sense for anyone to understand that without security, the pursuit of the other two objectives will just be an exercise in futility. And therefore, he wants the security agencies to take into consideration the wider implication of the gradual descent of the security of this country. He is not going to accept any further escalation of the security situation.
Well, let's give you some political news right now. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has announced a postponement of the Edo State governorship primary slated for tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, to Tuesday, the 23rd of June 2020, ahead of the governorship election in the state. The party today says that this is predicated on exigencies of party activities. The party is asking all governorship aspirants, critical stakeholders, party faithful, and other supporters of the party in Edo State to take note of this postponement. And for the APC, ahead of the governorship primary election of the party, slated for June the 22nd, the National Working Committee of the party has today inaugurated the election and appeal committees. Speaking to at the inauguration ceremony in Abuja, the National Vice Chairman, South-South, Mr. Hilliard Etta, who represented the National Working Committee-backed acting National Chairman, Senator Abiola Ajimobi, inaugurated the Governor Hope Uzodinma-led 7-member election committee with Senator Ajibola Bashiru as secretary. The party also inaugurated a 5-man appeal committee chaired by Dr. Yusuf Naji as chairman and Mr. Kayode Ajulo as secretary. And let's get to our main topic for discussion for tonight. And it's about the leadership crisis rocking the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Yesterday, you know what happened when Mr. Victor Giadom went to the APC Secretariat to say he is the acting national chairman of the APC and he wanted to take over the reign of affairs in the party. Today, there seems to be another scenario playing out. He's obtained a court order, which I'm going to show you just in a bit, and asking is an extension of the court order obtained in March this year. The court order simply extending the powers given to him by the court to be the acting chairman of the APC, and this court order is supposed to last for 2 weeks. What does this mean for the APC and for the future of the party? Let's get talking, everyone, shall we? Joining me from our Abuja studio, have the legal advisor, national legal advisor of the APC, Mr. Babatunde Ogala, is in our Abuja studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Ogala, for joining us. I also have a lawyer who perhaps think that what is happening in the APC as regarding what Mr. Giadom has done is the right thing. I have Mr. Wole Afolabi. Thank you so much, Mr. Afolabi, for joining us tonight. Mr. Afolabi, perhaps let me begin with you so that we can get a clarity or get what the stance of the NWC is on this matter. What Mr. Giadom did today, what does this mean? What is the implication after what we saw? Well, Senator Ajimobi is supposed to be the acting national chairman of the party. What does this mean? About today's court order. What does this mean for the APC?
Thank you very much, Mr. Okimbaloye. Thank you for having me on your show. What it means simply is an affirmation of what the APC Constitution provides. The APC Constitution has an hierarchy of who takes over the leadership of the party when the national chairman is not able to function, as we have in this instance, whereby Comrade Adams Oshiomhole has been suspended from office. There cannot be a vacuum. At the time that Mr. Oshiomhole was suspended, there was vacuum in some leadership positions. The offices of the Deputy National Chairman North was vacant. The Deputy National Chairman South was vacant. The National Secretary was vacant. Mr. Giadom, at the time, was the Deputy National Secretary. So he had to ascend so that there could be no vacuum in the leadership of the party. And the court affirmed his position as based on the Constitution. So as of today, Mr. Victor Giadom is the acting national chairman of the APC until a national convention is convened by the party. As it were, Mr. Oshiomhole hurriedly installed Chief Senator Abiola Ajimobi as the Deputy National Chairman South and other officers in the period that he obtained the order of the Court of Appeal, staying the execution of the order of the lower court, which had suspended him. Now, the APC Constitution is clear on how officers of the party are to be elected. It's well spelled out in Article 20, subsection 5 of the Constitution. It says that the party officials, can only be appointed at the National Convention or Congress. Now, the last time the APC had a convention was in 2018. So it begs the question, at what point were they appointed? They were not validly appointed. It was a divisive scheme to put in place people who ought not to be in office. So, as of today, Mr. Victor Giadom is the acting national chairman of the APC based on the constitution of the APC as affirmed by the judgment of the FCT High Court today.
Is it a judgment or an order? But let me allow, because of course there's another lawyer there,
on the
Mr.
order.
Babatunde Ogala, who is the National Legal Advisor of the APC. Mr. Ogala, 2 points that Mr. Afolabi had touched on now. The first point is the implication of the order of the court today. What does this mean from the point of view of you and your colleagues at the NWC?
Thank you, Sheung. I find it a little bit interesting. I think I need to make it clear. I am here in my capacity as National Legal Advisor. Mr. Folabi, my colleague, is here as the lawyer who instituted these cases on behalf of Comrade Mustafa Saliu. And he has talked, so he is the lawyer who has sued me. Because if you see in the order you posted, I am the first defendant. So that is counsel who has sued me, who is interpreting my party constitution to me. So I need to make that clear, because if I was counsel in this matter, I will not come and discuss matters I am handling on behalf of a client on television. So I need to distinguish that first, because the profession, ethics forbids me to do that. Now, what is the order that these people are banding about? He made reference to the constitution of my party, of which I'm a custodian. The constitution in Article 21 provides that in the absence of the chairman, the deputy national chairman from his zone shall act in his stead. He said, he has said the hierarchy of our party. Mr. Giadon was a deputy national secretary, not a substantive, deputy. Now, he has said that by provisions of our constitution, Mr. Victor Giadon was nominated as deputy governorship candidate of our party in Rivers State, filled the INEC forms, can on campaign in the elections, and by the provisions of our constitution, the moment you are nominated to an office to contest election or appointment, you must resign or you are deemed to have left the office. So I need to make that clear. Then coming back to the order they are purporting to have obtained, they paraded an order, obtained a match. As first defendant, as National Legal Advisor, Larry Onilu as second defendant, and Wazir Bulama. As we speak, we have not been served the order of match. Talk less of that of today. Do I obey an order that was never served on me? I think not, as a lawyer. The law says, until I'm officially aware, I have not been served with the originating processes, or indeed any process in this matter. So they can execute their orders on social media. Then the order was purportedly obtained on the 16th of March. On 13th March 2020, Federal High Court Lagos, Justice Liman presiding, where Mr. Folabi seated here, also attempted to appeal in the name of my party. Into the Court of Appeal, I had to go there to say it's not our counsel. Surreptitiously brought a notice of appeal on an order. And I had to go there to say, he's not my counsel, instructed by me. So he's aware of that order. That order subsisted. So please note, the order affirming the deputy chairmanship of Senator Abinobi was obtained on the 13th of June. The one they purport to have to declare a vacancy was obtained on the 16th of June. On 16th of June, on the day they were surreptitiously again, all these are ex parte orders. All these are ex parte orders. They were surreptitiously
Mr. Ogala,
albeit
sorry, apologies to Button.
Yes,
For
yes.
Nigerians, those who do not have law experience or law knowledge, an ex parte motion or an ex parte order, what does this mean?
Listen to
I'm sorry to
Listen
interject,
to
but
me,
I hope I'll get the
Shehu
opportunity
Akinbaloye.
to.
Please, let me give you a narrative. We obtained an order on 13th of June, which, as a law-abiding party, I must obey. They brought an order. I said, they obtained an ex parte order on the 16th, which till date we are yet to be served. But let's assume it was properly obtained. I am bound to obey it. Please note, there was no vacancy because our order of 13th March had affirmed the deputy chairmanship. So there was no vacancy for who takes over in the absence of the chairman. On the same 16th, while they were obtaining the order from Justice Bature's court, FCTI court, Mr. Falabi and I were all in court where the Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, in an appeal he argued, gave an order staying execution of the order suspending the national chairman, thereby restoring him to office.
Okay. So, sorry, Mr. Ogala, apologies to Button. I'll allow you to land on that thought, but we need to take this break. It is standard for us to take this break at this time. But when we come back, I'll allow you to land on that thought, and we'll dig deeper into the crises and these issues of the legality. Join us again, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. And let's get back to the conversation about the leadership crisis rocking the APC, partly originated from the courtroom. So tonight we have one person who went to the court on behalf of his client, Mr. Mustafa Salihu, and of course, which also empowers Mr. Victor Gadam to act as a national chairman of the APC. So we have tonight Mr. Babatunde Ogala, who is the national legal advisor of the APC, to clear the air and give us perspective from the NWC point of view. And so I was just, because I'm not a lawyer, but my little knowledge of the law, I wanted you to explain in layman terms to Nigerians what an ex parte means, because when you refer to that order as an ex parte, it means simply that it's a legal proceeding brought by one party in the absence of and without representation or notification of the other party. I just wanted Nigerians to have an understanding so that they can get along with what you're saying. So you can land on that thought, Mr. Ogala.
That is what it is. So on that, like I said, so they obtained the ex parte order. Note, there is an earlier order affirming Ajimobi as chairman. If Victor was a member of NWC, he knew there was no vacancy. And please note, by the constitution of the All Progressive Congress, the only person vested with authority to coordinate, receive processes, institute actions on behalf of the party is the legal advisor. No other person has the power, and that is me. Now, on the 16th of March, when Victor Gadon purportedly obtained the order asking him to pilot the affairs of the party and preside over the National Executive Committee, which they purport was set for 17th. The NWC, the NEC, never called for any NEC meeting because by our constitution, only the chairman or 2/3 of members of NWC or NEC can call for a NEC meeting. Nobody called for that meeting. So there was no such meeting. But that is what the purport was scheduled to hold, and that he should preside at that meeting, and any other day it may be adjourned to. Please, Sheung, can you preside over a non-existent meeting? And on the same 16th, where he was obtaining the order, Mr. Falabi here was arguing was in the Court of Appeal, where the Court of Appeal stayed the execution of the order of suspension and restored Adams Oshiomhole back to office.
And what happened on Tuesday?
Albeit temporarily, Court of Appeal. Let's assume that the two courts below are courts of coordinated jurisdiction. There was an early order of 13th.
Mr. Ogala, let me allow Mr. Falabi, since he's seated here.
Can I?
No, just a moment. Let me allow Mr. Falabi, because you made some positions known about which, in any sense, it needs to react to some of those positions. Mr. Falabi, how do you react to some of the things that Mr. Ogala said?
I'm not here to be lectured. I'm not here as a spectator. I mean, I need to react to all of the things that he has said. This has gone on for too long. First off, I don't know why Mr. Ogala takes any delight in personally attacking me on pure falsehoods. I'm sorry to use that word, but he deserves it. Yeah, he stood up before the Court of Appeal and he mentioned the same things that he's repeating here. And the Court of Appeal reprimanded him. The Court of Appeal told him, no, that is not the language of the court. You don't come in here and accuse a professional colleague on things that are non-existent. I don't know where he's manufacturing all of this.
The counsel in the courts?
But what were you told at the Court of Appeal? There was a time you spoke for like 10 minutes, they didn't even listen to you. I was in court with you. You went on and on. They dismissed you.
Okay.
The three-man panel, they dismissed you because what you were saying, there was no basis for it. Why do you take any delight in personal attacks? Why don't you go after the issues and leave out attacking people? That's not right. You're a very senior member of the bar, and you shouldn't be doing that. That's not your job. Don't attack me. There's no basis for it.
Mr. Afolabi,
Why would you lecture me on where to go and
Mr.
what to say?
Afolabi, would you just talk to the issues about some of the conflicting moments that Mr. Ogala has raised when you were in Lagos court, the Abuja court, and what was happening on the ground?
Respectfully, I sure will. Now, on the 16th of March, there was an order handed down by the FCTI court in Abuja stating that Victor Giedom should act as the national chairman of the APC. On the same day, the Court of Appeal, sitting in Abuja, granted an order of stay of execution of the order, the ruling of a lower court in a sister case. There are two separate cases here. But because of the respect that we have to show to the court, because we knew that it was a sister case, we decided to hold on to the order that was granted by the lower court. We did not go ahead with it. We did not execute that order because there was a stay of execution in a sister case. Now, on Tuesday, Mr. Adams Oshomole's appeals, 2 appeals, were dismissed. The appeals were dismissed. And the clear implication of that means that the ruling of the lower court in the sister case was affirmed by the Court of Appeal. So what that means, very simply, is that Mr. Adams Oshomole has been suspended as the chairman of the party. He can no longer act.
So, Mr. Afolabi, let's tackle some of these issues, and I'd like you to help me so that I'll allow Mr. Ogala also to react to some of these issues. There are 2 major issues that we need to trash out here now, and the quick answer that I would like you to give is, first and foremost, when you said that Mr. Giedom is the acting national chairman of the party, there exists, is it not, the position of the national secretary, true or false, in the person of Senator Abiola Ajimobi, the deputy national chairman of the party from the South, in person of Senator Abiola Ajimobi, true or false?
Good.
False, Sheo. False. He's not. He's an appointee of Mr. Oshomole. He was appointed by him. He was not appointed in line with the provisions of the Constitution.
What do you mean by is not? Quickly, if you can point out the position of the APC Constitution that talks about that, if you think that is illegal, so that Mr. Ogala can react to it. Mr. Ogala, as he's looking for that, if you can react to what he said, that Senator Ajimobi was appointed but not elected.
Mr. Victor Giedom came into the National Working Committee when the erstwhile Deputy National Secretary was appointed as an ambassador. And, as prescribed, we called on the zonal Congress of the party leadership to nominate a replacement. That is how Victor Giedom got to the NWC. So he who comes to equity must first come with clean hands. So let's put that aside. However, I have said, and I'm saying it again, positively, that the Federal High Court on 13th March affirmed Senator Ajimobi as Deputy National Chairman. So how can you then, who claimed to be an acting secretary, now go to another court surreptitiously to say there was nobody on office? The order of 13th March was served on me. The order of 16th March, the order of the processes they filed against me and the party, public secretary and national secretary, are yet to be served on us today. The order they are parading on social media are yet to be served on us, the parties,
all right,
as we speak.
So Mr. Ogala,
again,
Right, Mr. Ogala, he was going to tell you the point in the Constitution where he says Senator Ajimobi's appointment or election was invalid. Let him quickly raise it because we need to close in 30 seconds.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
thank you very much. It's Article 20 of the APC Constitution, Elections and Appointments. It reads, unless otherwise provided for, all party posts prescribed or implied by this Constitution shall, that's the operative word, shall be filled by democratically conducted elections at the respective national convention or congress, subject, where possible, to consensus, provided that where a candidate has emerged by consensus for an elective position, a vote of yes or no by ballot or voice
I think,
shall be called.
All right.
To ensure
Mr. Afolabi, I think you've read the relevant portion. So you are saying that either a convention or a congress, are you saying none of that existed? Is that what you're saying?
No.
So,
No,
Mr.
that is
Ogala,
exactly
Mr.
what I'm
Ogala,
saying.
because we
right
need to
here.
close, we're just at the brim. Mr. Ogala,
This is their constitution that I read out.
Mr. Ogala, react to
Yes,
that in 10 seconds so that we can go.
Can I just quickly respond to that?
Yes,
Can I quickly respond to that?
go ahead, please.
Mr. Afolabi as counsel, as my party's constitution where I'm legal advisor is what he has read. Let's even assume, do not consider, because I would have expected him to take us.
Leave me out of this.
I would have expected him to take us to where the Constitution talks about vacancy when the office holder leaves office. As in this case, Otunbani Adebayo was Deputy National
All
Chairman.
right. We need to close. We've actually gone over the brim of the time that we are allotted on the program. I sincerely must thank both of you for the clarity and the position that you have given tonight on the program. Mr. Babatunde Ogala and Mr. Wole Afolabi. Thank you so much, gentlemen. This is where we draw the curtain of the program. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.